Welcome Jeff Martin, CEO and founder of Tribal Planet, Bob Weir, founding member of the Grateful Dead, and Sara Eisen, co-anchor of CNBC.
Sure.
Hello, everyone. We're excited to be here. I know I'm excited to be here. Just wanted to we have under 10 minutes, so we'll keep it quick.
Yeah.
But I, as a financial journalist, was saying a few moments ago that when I used to hear the word sustainability in a pitch from a company, it was not sexy. We weren't into it. But increasingly, that's changing. This is becoming a profit issue, a corporate issue, a consumer issue, and an economic issue. And you guys know that better than anyone. Bob, you said in your speech, you've been talking about this, the UN, climate change, the rainforest, since back in the 80s. How are you so ahead of your time on this issue?
It occurred to me back in the early days of my awareness of all these issues that, for instance, that the environment, global warming wasn't at that point a major topic. That information was just coming together, but just environmental degradation and things like that were. And it occurred to me way back then that the person who's going to save this planet is the guy who's going to make a fat buck doing it. And in the Jeffersonian ideal of enlightened self-service, I sort of have stuck to that notion for ever since then.
Jeff, you've got an interesting background as well. Used to be an Apple
many years ago,
executive, and now have formed this Tribal Planet. Bobby's involved. Tell us a little bit how you came to this issue.
So, there's always economics to everything we do. And when the UNDP and the United Nations came out with the SDGs, the 7 Sustainable Development Goals, a lot of us in the tech industry thought, what a great opportunity to use mobile technology and apps and so forth so that people could literally see the economic impact their actions have by committing to an SDG as a citizen, as well as institutions that can commit to SDGs to show their proof of impact. To get it beyond just the badges to the actual proof that everything we do, micro actions, big actions, have an economic impact on the world.
It's an economic no-brainer. So why does it feel like sometimes this is a partisan issue? It's political. Are companies doing enough?
One wonders. I think some people just have decided that their bread is going to be buttered by finding fault in well, a lot of people don't like the notion of a central world organization. They like things to be local, and what they don't realize is that this kind of thing that we're proposing can be intensely local.
Yeah, talk about what you're proposing. Why maybe the solutions are going to come out of Silicon Valley.
I don't think any one community, has all the answers, but I think, the entertainment industry, the UN, corporations, tech can come together around one thing, which is that every action does matter. And I think that if there was an Apple Pay, if you will, or a PayPal, that's for SDGs, we call it the SDG Wallet, and we'll roll it out with the UNDP on Giving Tuesday, November 28th. But people can connect the sensors of their phone to actually show that their impact, whether it's going to school for the SDGs around education or grade improvements, or simply that they vote for sustainable world by only going to sustainable buildings that prove that they actually are using sustainable solutions. Whatever that is, it all has an impact and it adds up. And if that can be on our phone, it goes with us everywhere we go. And so the idea, starting November 28th is if you want to give a donation to the SDGs, you can do that. If you want to volunteer to an SDG through the UNDP, you can do that. Your corporation can match it. If you simply just want to turn the sensors onto your phone and the app and show you the impact you're having and see it all the way between today and 2030, you can do that as well. And this will be publicized so people can actually show their impact on their Facebook pages. They can do it through other social media channels, but corporations too will be held accountable through their proof of impact by showing through dashboards publicly what they're doing in sustainability, what are they doing in gender equality, What are they doing in education? And we can use the SDGs and hold them accountable, but also show them the more they commit to SDGs, the better their business is.
So it's like instead of tracking your steps on a Fitbit, you're tracking your sustainability.
Your education, your wellness.
What's your vision behind this? How did you get involved, and what do you think it can do for people? Bobby?
Well, it can give people a sense of, number one, it can give people a sense of worth, because your worth, your actions amount to your worth, as I said earlier, and then this is a way of qualifying and quantifying what you've done and then developing goals for yourself and for your sphere of influence. And eventually, I might add, we're going to try to incorporate rewards. You might be able to monetize your actions.
Like a whole new kind of currency, maybe, we were talking about.
A currency of action beyond just hashtags, to really show that proof of impact, both individually and institutionally, may be the most important thing you do. And it should have a value.
And that will buy you education, that will buy you other things. And that's a way of raising people's station in life.
Oh, they're giving you a mic, I guess.
It's a way of raising people's station in life, if you will.
Yeah, getting rich by doing good and saving the planet.
Right.
And ending poverty.
And at the same time, as we've been, it feels good. You get a little squirt of dopamine in your system when you do something that you know is doing good outside of your sphere of influence.
How do you envision, Jeff, companies getting involved with this beyond just individuals and Silicon Valley companies like yourself?
So we're going to be reaching out to corporations and ask them to, if they committed to the SDGs, to actually, in a sweet but honest way, prove it. To show that with the UN that they're actually having the impact they say they're having by using what's called proof of impact analytics. So we'll be able to use the SDG factors and all the projects that extend from it, see if they've committed to them, in essence sponsor them, and then publicly make those dashboards available to show what they're doing, let's say, in gender equality, or what they're doing in sustainability, what they're doing in wellness, and see if there's a direct connection to also people buying those products that prove that they indeed have committed to the SDGs. You'll be able to connect the SDG wallet from your actions as an individual to an actual payment wallet, like an Apple Pay or a PayPal, and show those companies that when you're buying that cereal or you're buying something, you're letting them know directly it's because they have proven publicly they are following through on the SDGs. And they know that that social action actually drove transaction. That's the beauty of the convergence of a phone, is it can not only be a Fitbit, but on steroids, connected to all SDGs. It can also connect to the payment wallet and show that your purchase, in essence, is a vote for that company who's actually following through on the SDGs. It may not be a vote beyond price and quality, but we think at least it can be a third preference of choosing companies and saying to them, I'm buying from you as a vote, and my vote counts, and my vote's coming from the same phone that measured my impact as an individual and citizen.
Yeah, it feels like a whole new opportunity of accountability in corporate America.
Yeah.
That is
in the world.
Greatly to their advantage to prove that they're living up to their commitments.
Yeah, but we think that actually benefits them. I mean, self-interest and sometimes collective interest come together, and if we can show those corporations, the more you prove your impact, the more your sales are growing, then we can really use and harness money for good, and not just donations or volunteerism that usually isn't sustainable.
Do you think people get this?
That's what I'm here for, and by God, they will.
What have you learned in all your work on sustainability and doing good for the planet and talking to folks about this and being involved in companies like this?
It goes back to that old adage from the 60s: if it feels good, do it. And in this particular case, if it feels good, and it feels
They were definitely
right,
talking about UN sustainability goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it feels good and it feels right, then it's going to be worth your while, and we're going to make it more worth your while to do what feels good and feels right.
Is there a role for governments here, Jeff?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I look at the 17 SDGs and what the UN's done, and it's so admirable. I mean, the absence of milestones, we finally have them. I fear that if governments, corporations, and individuals don't get involved, it'll end up being the worst example of badgeware ever in 2030. We have to hold everyone accountable and let them see the positive of that action. And I think governments are as much a part of that as corporations. It's going to be, I think, the way corporations and governments have to work together for the sake of citizens and our planet.
All right, we're just about out of time. Any other further comments? If it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
It's all about dopamine.
We'll leave it on that note. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.